Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Hidden in the Universal Vault. I'm Ron, your host, and I welcome you to my review of 2007's Balls of Fury. Yes, a ping pong comedy and balls jokes. Yeah, so this is a comedy from Rogue Productions. Yeah, Rogue Pictures. Right here, I'll show it. Rogue Pictures. And this is a comedy that was released in 2007. And the movie stars Dan Fogler, Christopher Walken, George Lopez, Maggie Q, Thomas Lennon, and Robert Patrick, among others. It also has Terry Crews in it, though, in a small role, who's on the front cover of the movie. So, in addition, like I said, with those casts, we get Terry Crews, Aisha Tyler, the guy who plays Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat, isn't it? Can't think of his name, but he's in this, and I think that's about it for the cast. And this is a movie that I'll tell you why this doesn't work. So let's talk about Balls of Fury. Yeah, that's such a lame title for a movie. So, anyways, this is a movie that it's a sports comedy about ping pong, combined with 80s and Chinese mythology. Yeah, this has to deal with Chinese mythology, but not used well. This also has Christopher Walken playing a monk. So let's talk about the plot of the film. I forgot to mention what this is about. Watch the balls fly in this hilarious, action-packed comedy starring Christopher Walken and George Lopez. When former professional table tennis phenom Randy Dalton is recruited by the FBI agent Rodriguez for a mission in the unsanctuary underground and utterly unhinged world of extreme table tennis. Yes, it's ping pong. He demeans to bounce back to his former at him for every with yeah. Let me read that again. But with danger coming at him from every angle, will Randy be able to keep his eye on the balls? Yeah. From the creators of Reno 911 from the creators of the Night Museum of Reno 911. Yeah, Thomas Lennon wrote this, who was in Reno 911. So let's get the positives before I trash this movie. Before I trash this dumpster fire of a movie. The positive movie is Thomas Lennon is actually the funniest part of the movie. He is extremely hilarious. He's basically playing the Reno 911 character, except instead of a cop, he's a ping pong player. Thomas Lennon I've always liked. I think he's very funny. For those who don't know, Thomas Lennon got his start in a show called Viva Variety on Comedy Central. He returned to Comedy Central with Reno 911, and now he's in Balls of Fury. So that's the good stuff. Let's dump on the pot. Let's get the positives out and go through the negatives, because there's a lot. One, the comedy's not funny. With the exception of Thomas Lennon, he can be funny. Two, they don't seem like they're putting any effort. Three, Chinese mythology in a comedy about table tennis doesn't work. So, right at the beginning, we see Randy Daytona as a kid. He goes to the Seoul Olympics in table tennis. So his father, who wants him to do good, has to say, "You have to win this, buddy, or I'm going to be dead." So it turns out, he fails miserably, and they mention the joke that he's going to Disneyland. So he's like, and everybody's laughing. So now the father's dead. That's not a spoiler. Even though they credit Robert Patrick on the back, he's barely even in the movie. So, again, eventually now they got cut years later to him as an adult, And then he's recruited by a blind man played by James Hong, who a lot of people know who he is. Hopefully, yeah. He's recruited by that. I can't even find anything funny. Terry Crews does his usual Terry Crews, and well, I do enjoy him a lot. He does the whole his usual dancing breasts, like his breasts will be dancing. Every movie Terry Crews does, he always has these breasts that dance. It makes no sense. Terry Crews can be funny, but here he's just in it for sake of being in it. Aisha Tyler, who is she's there as Walken's assistant. I can't really find anything else positive with this. This movie is just, Maggie Q is in it. She plays a sort of love interest. There's a climax where they play ping pong. Him and Watkins, who plays a monk. Yeah, he plays a monk in this movie. I hate to say it, folks, but I'm going to kind of get off the bat. An American trying to play Chinese monk, that seems sort of racist. Yeah, at times it can be a little too racist. I don't know. I don't know who this director is. Robert Benton Duran, I'm not sure who he directed. I can't really find anything remotely that good. Now, it's also made by Interpad Pictures, who also made The Strangers, a movie I covered on the channel. I do believe I covered it on the channel. Also made this. And it's also made by Spyglass Entertainment, the same studio that made a few more Universal movies I covered on the channel. The Two Almighty movies and Dragonheart. No, not Dragonheart. Dragonfly, the Kevin Costner movie. So I kind of wanted to get that out with the studios. This is just, it's boring. The humor is not funny. It could get a bit racist. I don't like bringing up things like that. But really, Watkins as a monk, come on, cut me a break. I'm supposed to laugh at a comedy. Now, don't get me wrong, sports comedies do work. Here's an example. Happy Gilmore was a comedy about golf. Golf was an interesting sport to learn about. Kingpin was a comedy about bowling. That's a fun sport to learn about. Not really learn, but they work in comedies. Caddyshack, Happy Gilmore, Kingpin, football comedies. Those work because the sport is interesting to watch. Football comedies like The Waterboy work because the sport works. A comedy about ping pong is just, first off, table tennis or ping pong, whatever you like to call the sport, it's just boring. It's second to bowling. That's like if this movie was about the Olympic sport curling. You know, the guys curling that use the sticks to, if you watch the Winter Olympics, you get what I'm saying. Yeah, this is just, George Lopez was not even at all funny. You could have took George Lopez out of the movie and the movie would work. He tries to do the whole Scarface, say hello to my little friend, and it just seems out of place. Everything about it. There's also a Wii video game based on this, and yeah, that game looks terrible. I'll have to get down to Wii and do like a quickie of it and see if it's really that bad. But after watching the movie, I don't think I'm ever going to play the game. And the game was actually made by, kind of rambling because I have nothing else to say, DSI Games. So they were a shovelware company. So yeah, this is just, yeah. So at the end of the day, stay away from Balls of Fury. One, the title is bad. The sport of table tennis is bad. First off, the title is bad. The acting is so phoned in, with the exception of Thomas Lennon, who almost saved this movie. Everything else is just bad. It is dumpster fire from start to finish. George Lopez was not funny. the cast was just phoned in. As Maggie Q, who is, I'm going to tell you right now, Maggie Q is beautiful, but cannot save this movie. Watkins, who can be funny, does his walkinness, is not even funny. Him trying to be a monk is just, it just comes out a bit awkward. And I'm going to tell you right now, this movie right here is going on the worst list for sure. It's not worthy of an honorable mentions bad. It's bad because it's not funny. Making a comedy about ping pong doesn't work. It works in bowling, it works in golf, it works in football. Those comedies do work. Even basketball can be funny. Sports comedy has to work when your writing has to be good. It's too bad because, like I said, Thomas Lennon is funny, and I had a good time. Terry Crews, it can be funny, but the breast dance just got super old very, very fast. So yes, do not watch Balls of Fury. This is like a terrible movie, a terrible comedy, not funny but more cringe, and you have just a plot that made no sense. Ping pong, Chinese mythology, that's a sign of a bad movie. So yeah, I'm not going to ramble too long on this. So let's go ahead and rate this now, guys. I'm going to give Balls of Fury, you probably already know this, automatic 2 out of 5. I really, really was hoping this was going to be funny. But I come at the end of just obnoxious. Like, the jokes were not funny. Some of it made me sort of like smile but not laugh. And that's not a good sign when you make a sports comedy. Especially a sports comedy about table tennis, ping pong, whatever you want to call that sport. Just doesn't work. It works in football, works in bowling, and maybe it works in basketball. It's your writing that has to work. That's when you look at a movie, your writing has to be good. And the writing went downhill. The writers should have just if they would have made this a different sport. If this sport was about bowling, then I probably would let it pass. But a sport about ping pong or table tennis, to me, that's just a sign of a bad movie. So, yeah, stay away from Balls of Fury. It makes no sense of what it's trying to be, and it's not even the least bit funny. It comes off as just awkward, tedious, and boring at the same time. So that's my review of Balls of Fury. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the content on the channel, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, ring the bell to get all the video notifications so you don't miss a single video on the channel. I'm on Letterboxd, guys, so you can check me out there. And I got tons of content on the channel, lots of videos, lots of shows on my channel. So yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys think of Balls of Fury. Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? If not, just let me know. Did you think this was good? Did you think it was awful? Just let me know, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. So, yeah, please stay away from Balls of Fury. This is another dumpster fire of a film that makes no sense what it's trying to be. It's not even a comedy. If it was a comedy, I should be laughing. I should be smiling. I should be having a good time. I should be like, ha, 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 ha. But in the end, I was like this. And I was like that. When is this over? That's what I feel when I watch this movie. So, yeah, just stay away from Balls of Fury. Terrible title to a very awful, terrible, bad movie. So that's it, guys. And as always, keep watching those Universal movies. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.